Maduka This story is the stuff of legends. A school dropout fired from an apprenticeship with just 200 naira in his pocket from selling spare parts in the chaotic markets of Lagos. He built the Coscharis Group, a multi-million-dollar conglomerate synonymous with luxury cars like BMW and Rolls-Royce. He is the quintessential self-made man, the embodiment of grit. Now the titan, Aliko Dangote. Born into wealth, merchant family in the north, he started in 1977, the very same year as Maduka, with a loan from his uncle. He began by trading commodities, sugar, cement, rice. For years, their paths ran parallel. Two traders, both successful, both building their fortunes. But in the 1990s, their paths diverged sharply. While Maduka was mastering the art of the deal, becoming the king of auto distribution, Dangote made a pivot, a game-changing, earth-shattering pivot. He decided he didn't just want to trade things, he wanted to make them. He moved into manufacturing, flour, salt, sugar, and then the big one, cement. This single decision will set the stage for one of the most explosive accumulations of wealth in African history. Let's talk numbers. Because Maduka's claim that Dangote could buy him with a check isn't an exaggeration, it's a mathematical fact. Cosmas Maduka's net worth is estimated to be around $500 million to $1 billion. A colossal fortune by any standard. But Aliko Dangote, as of 2025, his net worth is estimated at over $24 billion. That's not a gap, that's crazy. Dangote isn't just 2 or 3 times richer, he is at the minimum 24 times richer. So what happened? How did one man's wealth look like a steep mountain while the others looked like Mount Everest? The answer, according to Maduka, and the mountain of evidence, lies in 3 words: the playing field. The playing field. The year is 2002. Nigeria is importing almost 75% of its cement. The government, under President Obasanjo, decided this has to stop. They introduced a policy called the Backward Integration Policy. It sounded good. The goal, make Nigeria self-sufficient in cement. But it's how they did it that changed everything. The government didn't just encourage everyone to start making cement. Instead, they restricted lucrative import licenses. You could only get a license to import cement if you were actively building a local factory overnight. The market was sealed. A handful of players were now protected from foreign competition. They were given tax waivers, custom duty exemptions, and a guaranteed market for their product. And who was perfectly positioned with the capital and political connections to take advantage? Aliko Dangote. His wealth didn't just grow, it detonated. In 2008, it debuted on the Forbes list with $3.3 billion. By 2014, it was $25 billion. This wasn't just good business. This was the result of an allegedly state-sanctioned protected quasi monopoly. And it wasn't just Dangote. Maduka also mentioned Femi Otedola.
There are privileges that people enjoy. Import license. Femi Otedola at a time had to import only himself had license to bring diesel into this country. Nobody create monopoly for you that you cannot become a multi-billionaire. I don't want to begin to mention them.
In his memoir, Otedola admits his path was smoothed by government deregulation, privileged access, and state patronage. He's refreshingly honest about it. Success requires navigating the labyrinth of politics and privilege. This is the uneven playing field Maduka was talking about. Not necessarily backroom corruption, but a deliberate economic model, a model of creating national champions. The goal might have been noble to industrialize Nigeria, but the consequences was the creation of unimaginable wealth for a select few. The Dangote Group has a standard defense against these accusations. They say it's not monopoly, it's first mover advantage. They argue they took massive risks others wouldn't, and their success is the reward. But critics point to a pattern of behavior that looks less like competition, but more like trying to eliminate it entirely. For years, the price of cement in Nigeria has been notoriously high compared to the global market. So high that in 2025, the government itself threatened to open the doors to imports just to force prices down. A clear admission that the domestic market isn't working. Then came the lawsuit. In 2024, with his massive new oil refinery online, Dangote's company sued the government, demanding a complete ban on the importation of refined fuel. The head of a regulation agency called the move not good for the nation and not good for markets in terms of monopoly. The public backlash was so intense, the company eventually withdrew the suit, but the mask had slipped. This was a move to legislate a monopoly, at least as seen by some people, to use the courts to ensure no one else could even play the game. It's this pattern that has led Nigeria's own Labour Congress to accuse the group, Dangote Group, of monopolistic capture of markets and economic sabotage. When Maduka's interview hit the internet, it wasn't just a debate, it was a digital referendum on the Nigerian dream. The country split into three distinct camps. I'll show it to you. Finally, someone said it. Maduka is a hero. He built his empire with his bare hands. This proves the system is rigged against the common man. That was Team Maduka. They saw him as a whistleblower, validating their long-held belief that success is more about connections than competence. Hold on. Didn't Maduka get his own big break from a government import license back in 1982? And what about his own business controversies? It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? That was the skeptical camp, pointing out that no one gets to that level without some form of patronage. This is just envy. Dangote is a national hero. He built Nigeria. He took risks to create jobs and industries. We should be celebrating him, not tearing him down. And that was Team Dangote, arguing that his success story is a victory for the entire nation. These two men have become avatars for two competing visions of Nigeria. Maduka, the ideal of the individual entrepreneur fighting the odds. Dangote, the reality of a state capitalist system where power and policy are the ultimate business partners. The debate isn't really about them. It's about the soul of the economy. So, was the playing field uneven? That's the question. The evidence is overwhelming. But by its very design, the economic policy that created the Dangote we know today was built to be uneven. It was engineered to pick winners, to create national champions. But hear this doesn't erase Dangote's genius for business. Come on. He saw where the game was going and played it better than anyone else. But it fundamentally reframes the story. It's not a simple stay sharp.
Just so you know, this is for information only and not advice. Some details or policies might have changed by the time you're watching this.